Welcome agents, we've got two things to talk about today. The clan vendor strikes again, and a showcase of my PvE skill build. If you do enjoy this video, then please drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy dedicated Division content. And with that said, let's get straight to it. Alright, so the clan vendor issue, it strikes again with multiple pickups this week. I've seen this surface all over the place, but I found this post on Reddit which breaks down all 4 pickups you might want to get. Now, as you can see, it's possible to get a Providence chess piece with over 1000 skill power from the clan vendor if you're on World Tier 5 and the clan level is between 18 and 26. In clan vendor 19 to 21, there is a 500 gear score tactical MK16 with an almost max damage roll and the Ranger talent, which is one of the best talents you can get alongside Optimist and a few others. That's up for sale. An Overlord chess piece with 13.5% weapon damage if the clan level is 16, and also a Providence chess piece with 41k health. Now with this in mind, surely the level 30 clan should have somewhat amazing this week. Maybe a high-end mask with a max roll 51% damage to elites, or how about a high rolled weapon damage chess piece of say 17%, you know, because it has to be better than the 13.5% weapon damage at the level 16 clan, surely. Well no, actually the level 30 clan vendor is giving you nothing as usual. Plus 9.5% total armor, which I believe is on the low end of the total armor. 20,000 health on kill. I think that's actually pretty good, but still, it's not that good. We've got China Light here with bit of skill haste, which is on the low end. Create a chance, which is on the low end, and explosive damage. It's actually a really good mask. It's just the crit chance is on the low end, and plus you don't really want crit chance there. You probably want double utility. Skill haste again on the low end. And we've got these gloves here with crit damage. We've got LMG damage on there on the low end. Assault rifle pretty much on the low end, and we've also got some purple gear. Anyway, which actually has got hardened on it, which is probably the best bit about this whole vendor. And we've got this Ariada Holdings holster with plus 23,000 health. That might seem like a lot, but that's actually not on the high end, so not very good. We've got these gloves with 203 skill power on the low end, and we got this chest piece here which has got 386 skill power. That's on the low end. Crit chance on the low end, and health I believe is also on the low end. And then we got these 3, weapons. We got a 4.62 weapon, 4.65. We got the Stoner LMG, which I've reviewed before, and lastly we got a purple hunted M44. So overall, what's the point in having a level 30 clan vendor? I mean, this is the same every week. Awful. Okay, sarcasm over. How many times is this going to keep happening? Now I know the devs must be aware of this. There's just no way they wouldn't be. And I also know this should hopefully be fixed with Title Update 6, but what baffles my mind more than anything is, how did this get past testing? I mean, this would have been tested thoroughly before launch, so how is it possible that this problem and the wider issue of attribute overlapping, how did that get through testing? To me, the solution is simple, and it doesn't involve any pie or pool of attributes. Attribute rolls, just like weapon damage and everything else, should never overlap. If you take a level 30 clan vendor, for example, and let's say a chess piece has a weapon damage roll on it, the attribute range should be at the highest possible amount because it's a level 30 clan vendor. Now, I think on a chess piece, the highest amount of weapon damage you can get is 18% on a high-end chess piece. And it's important to note that I said high-end for a reason, because high-end and gear set pieces have different maximum attribute rolls. So you've got 18% as the max amount. Level 30 clan, so let's just say the range is 16 to 18% weapon damage range on a level 30 clan, right? You could have a level 25 to level 29 clan with a stat range of 13 to 15%. Level 20 to level 24, 10% to 12%, and so on. The same would apply to weapon damage and respective gear score and everything else. Now this would remove the chance of a level 5 clan having a better attribute amount than a level 30 clan, but it would still leave the possibility of a level 5 clan having a better role in respect to the talents and or attribute split. The only difference would be that the maximum amount or the max stat roll would be significantly less than a level 30 clan, because you can only get the highest, or the range would only be possible, the highest range would only be possible at a level 30 clan. Now, I know the devs have tried to make it this way so it doesn't feel like it's excluding players who do not have a high level clan, but all it does is not reward those that do have a high level clan. It's not rewarding the people that have managed to grind up to that point. So at this point, what is the point of me having a level 30 clan when I could have a level 18 clan right now and get a 1000 plus skill power chess piece? Anyway, enough ranting. Highly recommend you check out these full pickups if you need them. Let's get on to the PvE skill build. Alright guys, so this is my PvE skill build. I'm still currently working on it. It's not perfect, but I thought I'd just show you guys where I'm at with it. It's still pretty strong. I mean, my clusters do 435,000 damage base, and that doesn't include the proc from BTSU gloves, which we'll briefly go over. So weapon of choice, I've gone for the P416 because I don't have the Eagle Bearer. This one's actually got Optimist on it, which is a top tier talent, probably the best in the game, certainly for raw damage, along with something like Ranger. And the only reason I've gone for another P416 here as my other primary is because it's got Rooted, which gives you that extra 25% skill damage when you're in cover for 10 seconds. So generally what you would do is you'd use your Blinder Firefly, okay? You'd blind your opponent, go into cover, then you pop out your clusters, and they will do an extra 25% damage. And that, again, that doesn't include the damage buff that you get off BTSU gloves as well. You're seeing you get an incredible amount of damage from this. Ideally, what you would want is you'd probably want Rooted here on your no, actually, you probably want Rooted on your secondary here. Okay, and then on your primary, having something like Protected Reload is always quite nice. And then in here, I'd always run either Chatterbox for the holster talent, or generally I run Nemesis to get the extra 25% headshot damage, because that's just strong anyway. But you're not going to be using your gun all that often, to be completely honest with this build. It's just nice to have. So we'll briefly go over the build here. For the first piece here, we got China Lights, which has got Explosives damage as its first sort of brand talent. We then got Skill Power and Skill Haste. Don't worry about the values too much. Obviously, they could be a lot higher. This is not min-maxed. I'm hoping that we get the optimization station at some point so I can min-max this build. And then we've got Explosive damage there. We're going to be trying to get Explosive damage where we possibly can, really. Moving on to the chest piece, we're using an Alp Summit. Mainly because you get some good slots here. As you can see, I've got 2 defensive, 1 utility slot here. We've got Skill, Power, Health, and Explosive damage again. Really, for this one, you want to get a little bit of health. And as you can see, my health and armor are pretty low, but all in all, you are going to be in cover most of the time. It's not that important in PvE. As you can see, this is just a 450 score chest piece. It could be much better, but I've not actually been able to find a better one at the moment, so we're still waiting for that. And we've got Destructive again as the main talent. And then for the mod slots, again, we've got Defensive, 2 defensive here. Really, I'm just trying to get some armor in there. And then for utility, you want to try and get explosive damage. For this particular utility mod slot, I don't have another explosives damage. I think I've got one on my chest, on my backpack. I don't have one here, so just throw whatever you can on just to get that skill power up. For the holster, now you can make a choice here. I've gone for Ongoing Directive simply because you get 2 mod slots, and this is important, and I'll show you why with the BTSU gloves. But as you can see, we've got 2 utility mod slots, meaning we could just increase our skill power up to that, near towards that 3,000. We've got one with explosives damage on it. The other one, it doesn't really matter. We're just trying to get that skill power. It's got skill power on it and health. And the reason I say that you can make a choice here is because you could probably run some which has explosives damage on here, but the chances are, well, it won't be your Ongoing Directive, okay, because that doesn't roll a talent. And every other holster is only going to give you 1 mod slot. I think it's only 1 slot. Yeah, I think you can only get 1 mod slot on the holster. So the chances are you're only going to get probably, 1 talent and then maybe 1 mod slot. Or actually, I think you get 2 talents and 1. So basically, the reason why it's important to have as many utility attributes or slots as you possibly can, and I'll quickly go on to the BTSU gloves here, is because of the gloves here. So if you look at energy infusion, it says whenever you apply a status effect, your gloves become infused with that effect for 60 seconds. While infused, you gain plus 10% skill damage, plus 10% skill healing and repair, and plus 10% skill duration for each utility you have. So I have 12 utility on this build, meaning I get an extra 120% skill damage, 120% skill healing and repair, and 120% skill duration. So that's why. And the way of getting the most is, just using Ongoing Directive. You can actually probably put an Ongoing Directive chest piece on as well. Let me see if I have any. If you can get all of them with, because you can get extra, you can get more slots here. You can have probably 4 here. And as you can see, that's going to put it up, again, an extra 10%. But at the moment, I don't have the right piece. So the extra 20% I'm getting off Alp Summit here is actually more beneficial at the moment. But you could run Ongoing Directive on the chest piece if you get the right amount of utility slots. So I hope that makes sense. But ultimately, what you're going to be wanting to do is get as much utility on here as possible so that you get the most out of your BTSU gloves. And that's why the BTSU gloves, by the way, guys, are so strong. Also, as you can see, the first one, skills that apply status effects, gain plus 50% status effect duration and 50% skill haste. So if I quickly go down to my my mod here, as you can see, cooldown is 15 seconds. But with that 50%, it actually brings this down to 7 seconds. So yeah, it's really, really strong. Really, really strong. Moving on to the backpack, I would like a different brand here. This isn't the perfect brand. Brand-wise, I'd probably want something like maybe Providence. Maybe Providence. I don't know what else you could really get here. Maybe Wyvern something like that. I don't know. But I'm using the Ariado Holdens here. We've got skill power, weapon damage, explosive damage, and tech support. Kills by active skills. Grant 20% skill damage for 10 seconds. That's quite hard to use, actually, to be completely honest, because the only, I guess it would work pretty well, because with the mines on the explosive, each mine counts. Each mine will probably kill, certainly in PvE, each mine will probably kill an NPC. So every time you do that, this procs tech support, which you get extra 25% damage on, which is really good. And you just want to get skill power, the explosive damage, of course. I've showed you the gloves. Knee pads wise, we've got some Providence knee pads giving you that extra 10% skill power. We've got skill and explosive damage. And as you can see, my skill power is upwards of towards 3,000. And we've got 12 utility slots. So if I quickly go on to the actual skills here, this has got a cooldown of 14 seconds. And that will reduce as well. We got damage 435,000 per mine. And again, if you take into account BTSU gloves, which gives you extra 120% damage. On top of that, you know, you're looking at what, 900,000 there. You're getting crazy numbers. And if you take into account something like tech support giving you extra 25% damage as well, you know, you're getting into crazy, over 1 million per mine at that point, which is crazy. And using something like Firefly is what's going to proc the BTSU gloves in the first instance. It does blind enemies, which is actually really good for PvP. You'll find that you can blind people in PvP quite often, and then you can use your mines, and you'll almost certainly, what I tend to do in that situation is I normally don't use Seeker mines. I actually normally use no, I do use Seeker mines. I think I normally use this mine. I just use explosive, and then you get crazy damage. It only goes for one enemy, but does crazy damage. So there you go. That's the build. Again, it's not perfect. There are some stuff that I'd like to still get. It's not max rolled by any means, but we're getting there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like. It does help support the channel. And yeah, until the next one, epic out.